We'll bring it on.
Yay.
Happy Monday as everybody's coming in. Keep everybody nice and muted there as they come in. Let's see. We'll do the, mute participants on entry. So I want to say while we're getting everybody coming in, I want to say welcome back to me. I'm excited to be back here with you guys. I miss you guys. I was in some top secret classes Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at noon. For a bunch of you, you're going to find out what it is here in a month or two. You're going to be very excited about it. I'm super excited. I was on a pilot program with our brokerage, testing some stuff out. Basically, I was a guinea pig, and I didn't get paid for it, but I did make some money out of it, so it's a good deal. But
hey, were you the guinea or the pig?
I was both. I was both. Bring it on. And it's going to be some exciting stuff. But today we're going to be talking about what are the main reasons real estate agents fail. It's going to be a great one. But before we get started, I'd like to share with you, if this is your first time joining us, we do have some resources for you. One of them is we have a Facebook page where we post a lot of things called Grow Global Mastermind Academy. Whoever invited you this can invite you on there. We have a YouTube page where we post all our videos, 104 videos and counting now. As you know, we do these on Mondays at noon Eastern Standard Time. And then we have an Instagram page. And then we have a website that I did not type in. Why Grow Global? There it is. Why Grow Global Events. It'll pop up here in a second. There we go. By the way, you can suggest a topic here if there's something you'd like to hear us talk about. But we post in here what we're going to be doing. And here it is today. Why real estate agents fail and how you can avoid the same fate. Now, this is super important because, look, we know the stats. And the stats are 2 out of 3 new agents don't make it a year. And 92 out of 100, this is terrifying. 92 out of 100 don't make it 5 years. Now think about that. Now sometimes people say the real estate agents are lazy, they're not motivated. I don't believe any of that. I don't think anyone goes to school, spends money to go to school, studies and takes a test because they're lazy or unmotivated. I think they're absolutely motivated. They're doing that probably while they have a job and kids and everything else going on, but yet they fail out anyways. And so today we're going to talk about that, where it's good to learn from your mistakes, but it's even better to learn from other people's mistakes. So we're going to have some people talking. This is going to be an open forum today, talking about why agents fail, but we're not just going to say why they fail. From there, everybody's going to pile on and say, what are some solutions to make sure? So like you can say, oh my gosh, I've been making that mistake. We're going to have some solutions as to how not to make those mistakes. So why do real estate agents fail? And what can you do to make sure it's not you? And then everybody should take this video after it's done on YouTube and share it to your sphere of influence and invite people to come to the Grow Global Mastermind, because we're growing your business, we're growing your network, and growing your life. We want you to sell more houses in less time so you can have more fun and you can go out and live life. So it's good to be back. Hopefully you guys are used to my fast talking speed. I don't know. It's from Ohio. We're farmers here. It's how we talk.
We miss you, Jim.
It's good to be back. It's
Your
good to be
energy,
back.
man, is like Grow Global, like misses you.
My brain exploded from all the knowledge they shoved in me in the last 6 weeks. It's been crazy, but I'm excited to be here. So let's start off. This is, by the way, this is going to have some of you all talking, or y'all, depending on what part of the country you're from. And we want to find out from you, what are the main reasons real estate agents fail? And there's a lot of them, but let's start with one, and let's talk about some ways to avoid it. And then after we beat that one into the ground, we'll go to another one. There's lots of reasons, right? So who wants to be first and say a reason why real estate agents fail? I don't think it's because they're lazy or unmotivated. I think there's other reasons. Who wants to start?
Yeah, they wait to return the call. I mean, they just don't return phone calls.
So Tony Williams here out of Atlanta. Tony, you've been doing real estate how long, for people who don't know you?
Oh, longer than most people have been alive.
Since the 80s, right? You started in the 80s?
Yeah, I feel like the Civil War was going through, you know. 46 years this year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm grandfathered in, man.
We did have the real estate civil war. It's called the BBA, buyer broker agreement, man. There you go. So Tony, that's a great point. So agents, you're saying they don't answer their phone or they don't return the call.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how do we fix that other than the obvious of returning the call? What's some best practices people could do? Because look, if you don't get back to your fellow agents, there's going to come a time when you need a favor, and they're going to be like, I remember when you didn't call me back, and they're not going to be excited
Hey,
to call you back.
I want the reputation of being ridiculously responsive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what in the world? You're calling me back so fast. I want them to know that I'm interested in their call. So, and I wish they'd treat my call the same way. We get a lot more done if they'd call me back.
I was actually on a call. I was actually on a call yesterday with a marketing company that does a lot of statistics, and they said that in their numbers they realized that on average, people who get let's say they get a lead call for a buyer or seller, and they'll say, I'll return your call sometime today, right? They realize that the sweet spot is in with 2 to 3 minutes. If you don't return that call within 2 to 3 minutes, the chances of you getting that client drops dramatically. You can't call them back same day. You have to call them immediately.
So Rob, 2 to 3 minutes is too slow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So are we talking
You got to answer that call.
Are we talking about agents here, or are we talking about leads? Or
Any
both?
of it.
All of it.
Any of it.
So leads, you have to call back quick like that, or you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
Now agents, you can probably have some leeway because you're now your coworkers, but clients, they're out there looking, and you got to turn them back quickly.
I think about these leads that we get, and if you wait 30 minutes to call somebody, when you call them, what are they going to say? Man, I've got 9 realtors called me since you called me.
Exactly.
You want to be upfront. You want to tell them, hey, I'm responsive to you, and you're getting ready to get a whole bunch of calls from a bunch of different people. But just remember how responsive I was for you on the front end. You want to be out of the gate fast.
So I would say, especially if you're a solo agent and you don't have anyone that's answering the phone, for your example, having some sort of auto response or a text message that you can send, it buys you time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a text message that goes out and says, hey, I understand you're interested in X, Y, and Z. What's a good time so I schedule it with them. It buys some time. Because now occasionally they'll say right now, and I'll say, okay, I'm calling you in 5 minutes or whatever it looks like, because you have responded and now you're in conversation with them. So don't wait. At least send that text message out saying, hey, what's a good time to link up with you to chat for, maybe 5 minutes. And that's a great way to buy you some time if you can't get to that call right that second. And I can't tell you how many people said, how about 4:30? But had I waited till 4:30, all those 9 agents, like Tony said, would have already been in front of me, and I didn't have a chance.
Right.
So let's talk real quick about time vampires. We all know these agents that love to talk a lot, right? They love to hear the sound of their voice. What's a tactic you can use to get on the phone and off? Because here's the thing. I know as an agent, I want to give you the information and I want to get off the phone. I don't need to talk about the weather or things like that. What's a good tactic to get in and get out?
Well, the only thing on that, Jim, is you have to listen. I mean, honestly, you have to just let them talk for a minute, because they're going to tell you what their needs are if you'll just tell them, hey, I want to hear what's going on in life. What are your needs? What are you looking to do? And I don't say, what are you looking for? I don't say, tell me, how many bedrooms you want. I don't say that so fast on the front end. I do say, hey, what's going on? What are you guys planning to do? And they're going to tell you, hey, we're going through a divorce, or I've got somebody in my family that passed away and I've got to sell. They're going to tell you what the needs are if you'll just listen.
So Tony, you're talking about a lead. We were talking about realtors also. So I think these are two different, same thing. You got to answer it as fast as can be. But I agree. If you're taking a lead, you want to spend a bunch of time connecting with them, right? Tell me about yourself, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, Ford. What about realtors? Well, realtors, I think, love to talk more than any person on the planet. And the reason I'm asking this is because I can't stand getting on the phone with realtors because they eat up your time.
I've been on the phone this morning with a realtor. We're having to put together an amendment with 3 different clauses in that amendment, and they said you know, what are you looking to do? And I said, okay, here we are. Here's the 3 things we need to put in this amendment. Do you want me to draw it up, or do you want to draw it up? I'll be glad to draw it up. I'll get back with you in about 5-10 minutes after I draw it up. I offered to do the amendment for them to get them off the phone, you know?
Nice.
And honestly, that's what they're looking for. Most people call me because they don't know how to word an amendment. So, you know, I'll just say, hey, you know what? I'll do it and I'll send it over to you. You tell me what you think about it. And most of the time they go, this looks fine. You know, send it to me. We'll get it signed. So I offer to do the work real fast, you know. I don't need to talk to an agent to do, you know, contract work. You know, let's just do it and get it done and go. You know?
I always say I'm getting ready to step into something. What do you need real quick? And
Sounds
it's
like
true.
something.
I am getting ready to step into something. It might be a
Sounds
bucket
like
of Popeye's chicken or something like that, but I need to get it real quick so I can.
With you, it's probably the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like it's in the backyard, man. Be careful where you step.
Hey, Jim, it's actually like maybe it's a personality thing because, you know, for me, I love talking to agents. Okay. I don't mind talking to agents. And because you see, the agents, solo agents, especially solo agents, they have, you know, they want a peer group, you know, like I'm here in Atlanta, right? And I have a group of realtors that actually call me. Rob, no, I was talking to one of the agents I just closed a home with. We on the phone for how long, Rob? I was like, you still on the phone with him? I'm like, because it's like we have so much challenges and we need someone to vent it with. Okay. Just like I'm having listing that agent called me and want to get in and, you know, wondering if I have other offers on the table and things like that. So I don't mind talking to them about a listing. So send those people my way. Like, if you don't want to talk more than 1 minute, send to Kim Campbell. She can handle it because I don't mind that at all. I actually love it because I think connecting with people and seeing what the agent going through every day helps me a lot on my business, help me help them and help my sellers, you know, because I only reach out to agent 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And some of them were like, oh my God, I'm so glad you are so consistent. Well, because they're busy, you know, so I don't know. I just reach out to people all the time just because if I need something, I just keep doing it. I understand that I'm busy. So I don't mind talking to them.
So I've got a list now for my personal growth list. I'm going to add that connect with agents better. Don't be so quick to get off the phone. So
Yeah.
step number 1, agents, answer the damn phone and then call people back. So it's a twofer in the one. So that's the first one. Let's go on. How about another one? What's another reason, a major reason that agents fail in the real estate industry? And then we're going to fix it for you. What's another one?
They don't know how to write a contract. They just
Agents don't have the training on how to write a contract. Right. So that can expand to everything. They don't know how to use the tools that are in place.
Yes.
So they need to get their training. I love it. So the fix it for that is what? Go get trained on how to do the contract in your area. If you don't know where it's at, find out from somebody to help you do that. That's a good one. Tony, what's another reason agents fail?
Because they just can't get out of their own way and think that they know, you know, just a little thing. And sometimes I've seen more agents screw up deals because they don't know what they don't know.
So how do they fix that?
I think one, they need more training. And, you know, when I say this is just across every, you know, MLS platform, you know, no matter what, you know, place you belong to, they need to train them more, especially when you're dealing with investors and things like that, because sometimes these agents, they just want to kill a deal because, oh, I've never seen that before. And, oh, you can't do that. And, you know, what do you mean? You want to pay with cash and, you know, this is an as-is sale.
So let's put some meat on the bone there for people. How much training should an agent do? Let's say we're talking to agents here of less than 5 years experience, right? Because that's the main dropout. It seems like the 5-year mark, if people can make it to there, they have a good shot at making their entire career. But 92% fail in their first 5 years. 92 of 100 will not make it 5 years, according to NAR. So how much training should they be doing?
I don't think it's the training as much as it's the mentorship. they need to either join a team where they're getting their tools, or they need a mentor that they can shadow and say, look, can I go with you when you go get a listing? Can I go with you when you write that contract? They need someone to tag along with so they can see the best way to do it. Be real careful who you tag along with, because if you've got two people that are working at Shoney's at night and they're trying to figure out from each other, it's just not going to work, you know?
So Tony, I'm a new agent. How often should I be doing that?
I mean, I would do it till I know it. I mean, honestly, I can tell real fast when somebody sends me an offer, you know, whether or not they know what they're doing. And, you know, I'll look up on my production list and find out they haven't had a closing in 2 years. And, you know, you can tell real quick if people know how to write contracts or, you know, write that offer up. About what they
Has anybody ever heard of the E to E ratio? Anybody ever heard of that from Brian Tracy? It's your education ratio versus your entertainment. How much television are you watching a day, or streaming on your phone, or, you know, Netflix, or pick your streaming channel? How many hours a day are you doing that compared to how many hours a day you're doing education things? For new agents, first of all, in real estate, we all know this: you're always going to be learning. There's always something new to learn. But the main portion of the education part is going to be on the front end. What would be an acceptable number? You got a new person, they're in, they want to make it. What would you tell them how much they should be spending per day? Let's say per hour. How many hours per day should they be spending educating themselves? What do people think?
Daily, if they could do it daily, I want to start first. If they could
how much during the day? How much?
1 hour, at least 1 hour educational a day, at least just 1 hour a day. That's the minimum. Like, that's beside the Bible study in the morning. Like, you know, we have that time, we got like 5, 10, 30 minutes. That's separate from the real estate education, because that's different.
So you're talking about there should be a period of time that they're doing personal growth,
Yes,
working on them, which they're their brand, but also taking business training for the actual real estate business itself.
yes.
So personal growth, whether it be spiritual, whether it be meditation, whether it be whatever it is, this is you building you. And then over here, you also have business, some type of business training, whether they're taking seminars or classes. You're saying both, Ken?
Yes, both, because here's the thing, you know, the spiritual growth will set the foundation of your day. You know, for me, my faith in Christ is heavy, and I want the whole world to know that, right? And that's my foundation. When I coach people, I was coaching an agent yesterday for an hour on the phone, and I was literally like, listen, you know, I have 3 things to talk to you about. And literally, I went into my 3 pillars that I was training the agent. But the first one is to set a foundation. I'm like, for me, at my house, I mean, we worship the Lord, you know, and that is very clear with me. And then the next pillar is that my personal development in real estate. I'm in real estate 27 years, and I'm still learning, because like Cindy, I asked Cindy to open the mic and say something, because if there's a new contract, you got to be all over it. You know, if something is new, you have to learn. And we have, like, you know, slacks, like some of the people don't even know what Slack is, right? And some people don't even know what Circle is. And there are so many tools. And then ChatGPT, people heard of it, but how many of you guys in here actually using ChatGPT in a way where it's serving, helping your business? Yeah, Coach Kelly does. You see, the people who actually in the business that are helping and coaching and training everyone, we are so involved in all these tools, Jim. And that is why we learn this thing every day. It's not in 1 hour. That's just the minimum. I'm telling you, just the minimum.
Well,
1 hour.
Cindy
Mike
Hetrick
Ferry
says in the chat 2 hours. Cindy Hetrick says 2 hours a day.
Yes.
Even Mike Ferry, he used to even have his top producers do 1 hour of role play every morning before getting on the phone. Every morning, even top producers.
Going
You
through the
have to have a
scripts
lot
and
of
dialogues.
self-discipline too, and a lot of them don't have it.
Yeah. Tony, how many hours a day should an agent who's newer in their career be spending training?
Well, I think everything has to do with the content of the training. I mean, I was on a training session just before I got on this call, and I will tell you, there's so much fluff there. I thought, waste of time. And honestly, it all comes down to what you're looking for. That's the reason I believe shadowing a good mentor is important. Okay, going with them on a listing appointment, listening to the scripts or the conversations is important. Being focused on what you need to learn. Okay, I mean, honestly, you've got to learn how to talk to people, and the best way to do that is to shadow a good mentor.
Kelly Jackson, superstar. How much should agents be training?
So training is not just for new agents. That's what we need to get out of our heads.
Right.
Correct.
It is ongoing. I still train, 23 years in the business. I am a lifelong learner in real estate. So that's the first thing. But if you have more time than money, then you should be training. You can use ChatGPT to talk to role play with you. You don't even need a role play partner now, which is amazing. And not just practicing scripts, but actually taking those scripts and using them on somebody. It's one thing to know. I've met some professional trainees who also didn't survive in real estate because you then have to go use what you learn on clients. That's where the disconnect sometimes comes from people. And if you can get a coach or a mentor or get into some sort of sales training program when you first enter in real estate, it goes a long way. That's what I did. Way back then, it was something called Fast Start. Now I know there's Fast Cap, there's all sorts of names for it, but that can help you catapult your career. And then we had private sales training with our real estate instructor. And then I hired Mike Ferry, and now I have a coach with Tom Ferry. So it's always having someone to point out those blind spots. It could be a mentor, someone that you look up to, and not that they're going to tell you everything, but they're going to point you in the right direction.
Love it.
And if we can, and I think we missed the big thing here is that the agents in that first 5 years, they never learned how to treat it as a business and to get up every day. Because if I can get up every day and look for business, I can find someone to tell me what to do after that. It's that step of letting people know I'm a realtor, of constantly reminding people what business I'm in, of going out and serving people every day, whether it's my first day in the business and I've taken all these courses. I probably know more at that point than the new agent. I mean, than the sellers or buyers that are in the market, excuse me. So being able to take that information, and share it with people, that's really important.
Love it. Tony Giusto and then Keith Jackson.
I would say, I think probably 15-minute increments, at least 4 to 6 times a day on training, because most people, they don't have the bandwidth to kind of sit there for that hour or 90 minutes and to fully absorb it. Quick 15-minute little learning sessions would be great for new agents, because then this way you can look at it, and if you need to go back, you can. You're not overwhelmed, and it just will work out much better for a newer agent that way.
Tony Robbins says that knowledge is not power. A lot of people say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge is the power. So I think what you're on there, Tony Giusto, is good. And learn something and then put it into action, right? I love that. Keith Jackson.
I would say, you starting a business, and anybody starting a business, no matter what it is, there's a cost. So either you got to buy supplies, you got to buy paper, pens. So new agents got to understand, I'm starting a business. I have to buy some knowledge, be it on a team. New agents don't want to pay for teams, whatever the split is. They want to, argue over that. But if you don't want to buy a team, hire a private coach. But there's going to be a cost. And it might be money and time, free time. You don't have time to watch TV. But understanding I'm starting a business, I'm making an investment. If I was starting a sneaker business, I have to have someone supply me with sneakers. I'm going to have to pay for that. Same thing. I don't have the knowledge. I have to get the knowledge. There is a cost for that. So just understanding it as a business, I'm investing in my business, be it joining a team and understanding there's a split for that team, or hiring a coach, just accepting this is my business and this is the cost of entry into this business.
I love that, Keith. You know, Brian Tracy or Gary Vaynerchuk, for people who, you know, Brian Tracy's too old for them to follow, but Gary Vaynerchuk says that if you're binge watching, you pick whatever, binge watching that, and you didn't train and educate yourself at least that many hours that day, you're messing up if you're going to be an entrepreneur. And that's where Brian Tracy says that E to E ratio, your entertainment ratio should never be, number of hours should never be higher than your education hours that you did that day. So if you're binge watching 3 hours of whatever on Netflix, you better put in 3 hours of training. I learned this, and then we'll go to Kelly Jackson. She's got her hand up. You take your day that you're going to be working, because some people are part-timers, sometimes are full-timers. But let's say full-time. What do you describe as full-time in real estate? What are they going to say? Well, 8 hours. Great. Pull out your calendar. Let's see what you got on the books for today. Oh, you have one showing tonight at 6 o'clock. Let's say that's an hour of time. Or, you know, if you're in DC where these guys are at, maybe that's 2 hours. Or in Atlanta, it's an hour drive each way, right, to go do the showing. But out of that 8 hours, you're showing houses for 2 hours. What are you doing with the other 6? May I recommend this? Taking that 6 hours, dividing in half. 3 hours of training, 3 hours of prospecting. Lead generation, going after it like that. That's a true 8-hour day of real estate. Right now, you might have 2 listing appointments that day, 6 showings. Okay, so 6 of those 8 hours now are eaten up by going out doing dollar producing activities. Now you only have 2 hours available, 1 hour of prospecting, 1 hour of training, because with the 2 that are left. That, to me, I think for a new agent is how you proportion it, because most newer agents, especially if they're having trouble, they're not doing that many showings or listing appointments. How are you going to get them? You got to be prospecting and you got to be training. Anybody else want to add anything to this till we go to the next one? I think we get it. You need to be training. You need to have a systematized, is that a word? Systematized, I think it is. A systematized training program, something that you can follow, something you can hold yourself accountable to, something that's trackable. I would get myself an accountability partner or somebody to go to the trainings with you. And a lot of it, look, nowadays it's been fixed. It's all online. In the old days, you used to have to drive to go get our training, right? Now you can just jump online and you can do it from the comfort of your own home, right? On the computer. So it's made it even easier. But here's the problem. What's easy to do is also easy
to not do.
To not do.
Yep.
And you've got to hold yourself accountable. We've talked about that a lot. So training. So we've got our answer so far. Answer the damn phone. Call people back. We've got that one. We've talked about learning your programs, which comes, your contracts and things like that, which comes under the training umbrella. You should be doing training. Okay. So those are all good things to prep to get ready. What else? What makes agents fail?
You mentioned Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins, if you asked him, he's going to say that agents fail to take massive action. They fail to do the work. And we mentioned, you know, training and so forth, but how are we implementing that training? One way, especially if I was brand new, I'd be at an open house probably 3 or 4 days a week. As many as someone would let
say
me
that
in.
Louder for people in
Louder,
the back.
Kelly.
Say that again, Kelly Jackson. I don't think the people in the back heard that. Say
Coach
it again.
Kelly, Coach Kelly, come on, give it to
Say it again.
So I mean, that is because you're unknown, and we're in a business where you make money when you're known, and an open house is a great way to become known. Another action you could take, and there's all the things around open houses, and we've done some previous sessions on that. But I mean, there's so many other avenues between door knocking, cold calling, video. How can I forget that? Video walkthroughs, and we have to spend time outside of our. We mentioned prospecting and role playing and so forth. But what about previewing some properties, finding out what the heck is going on? How do I price a property? You don't want to get in front of a seller and you've never been inside a house pricing it. And so you want to actually preview some properties, get out where real estate is taking place and not waiting for something to happen because they don't know you anyway. They're not coming. So you may as well be at that open house, putting up signs. We were touring someone's house is expiring and they called me to list it. We were there yesterday and Keith got a buyer because we were at the property making a video for it. So actually getting out there.
So
Put
Coach
yourself
Kelly,
out there.
let's put some meat on the bones on there. So 3 to 4 open houses a week. Look, you can do 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. We've done tons of videos on how you can knock that out in a compact window, right? But
We've done
how
open
many
houses on
previews?
Tuesday.
Twilight ones, Coach Kelly. Right?
Yes.
We've done videos on that. But how about this
Commuter.
previewing thing? Because I like it. What's a reasonable number for an agent who's newer, got some going on, but not, maybe not a ton? What's a reasonable number for them to do previewing? 1 a day? 1 a week? What do you think?
I would say 1 a day, so
If
5
you're
a
brand
week.
new, 1 a day. If
Brand
you're
new.
full-time brand new, what else you got?
And you
And-
can
and
do
you
all the
can-
things with the video and show that you're out there and you're in the social media sphere with it. I love
And
it.
you
people
can
will
make
see
it
you
real-
doing those activities. That's what happened. He saw us out there. He stopped his car. Are you guys selling this house? And that he opened up the conversation because he saw the activity, which sparked the curiosity. So if you're out there doing the activity, you'll spark curiosity and people will come to you. And it's up to you to just catch the fish.
Keith, I figured he was just stopping to get your autograph, man. I didn't know Love
You
it.
can make it really simple. If you're doing an open house in a community, why not go tour the other houses that are on the market in that area as a new agent?
And so Kelly Jackson said the word. I'll come back to you, Kim, here on this. Kelly Jackson said the word. It's the dirty word that no one wants to do in real estate, but I heard her say it. It's the P word, prospecting. But before we go to, because I think we need to talk prospecting here as we go through this thing. But Kim, you were going to say something before we go to this next topic.
Like the person I was coaching yesterday at after church at 3 o'clock, I was saying to the person, he's like, well, I've been in real estate a whole year. And I went to that training that you told me. And I'm like, and it's still not working. And I was asking him, I was like, okay, let me ask you this. How many open houses have you done since you've been with us for 1 year? He was like, oh. That's what he said. Oh, he's like 3. I'm like, I did 3 last week. And I'm in real estate 27 years. What is your excuse? And he didn't say anything. And I was like, that training? I say, and how many times did you attend that 6-week training that helped you, literally making 6 figures? And then he told me one time when I first started, I say, next, so my marching order for that gentleman was, I say, listen, the next training is on August the 22nd for the next 6 weeks. And I want you to, going forward, because he said he want to grow. He's like, next 12 months, please help me grow. So I told him, like, you are going to attend this training as if your life is depending on it. And that doesn't stop that you do everything that's being said and come back to that training until you get your result, which means I told him to go to that training over and over and over before he mastered those skills that are being taught in the class. And he's like, I never thought of that. And he's 38 years old. So what I'm saying here is that I don't care how old you are. When a coach like us, I mean, we've been around the block, like all of us here over 500 years in this call right now, okay? We got Coach Kelly, me, Rob, Jim, Tony, I mean, all of us, Cindy, all of us in here, we are coaching people weekly. This is what we do every Monday. This is the 1 hour that we're dedicating to give it to the community, to all brokerages. We don't care who. If you're listing and selling a home, you need to come here because this is what we do. So my point is, how was your action the past 12 months? That's what you're going to determine what you're going to be result now and the next three months. And that's what I'm trying to say. Thanks.
I love it, Kim. Let's go to Coach Kelly's bad word, the P word she threw out there.
Prospecting.
Prospecting. No one wants to talk about it because everybody likes to do the marketing side. But where you put the skin in the game and the action is the prospecting. Who wants to define the difference for somebody? Maybe they're a newer agent and they don't understand the difference. What's the difference between prospecting and marketing? Who wants to go out there and tell the difference between the two? Because if you're looking at your calendar, if you're new and you're watching this, if you're a long time in it and you're looking at your calendar and you don't have prospecting time blocked out, you are missing the big time. But go ahead, Keith.
Prospecting is hunting. You're actively hunting. Marketing, you lay the trap and you're waiting for something to step in the trap.
Right.
So it depends on which one you want to be. If you have, you don't mind waiting, but if you want to eat and eat quickly, you're going out there to trap that catch that prey. So that's the quickest way I could describe it.
So a new agent, Keith, we're going to stay with you. A new agent says, okay, I want to hunt. How do you hunt as a real estate agent? What's a prospecting move somebody can do? And then we'll have some other people throw in some others. Prospecting.
Well, I'm just going to take it back. When we shifted to a new market in Texas, we didn't know anybody. We cold called around active listings in the office. So we got the number for a listing around that was in a nice area, and we just circle prospect, calling the neighbors of that particular listing, inquiring if they were considering moving, did they know anyone looking to move into the area, and that's how we generated our business.
I love it. How about who else got a prospecting move?
I would say the low-hanging fruit of expires and for sale by owners.
Ooh, yeah. Beautiful. And Kelly, people can find ways to do that. We've done videos on that before, and there's tech tools to help them do that, right?
Yes.
The Red X and things like that. So Kelly's talking about prospecting. Keith's talking about getting a hold of people right up. This is people who already said they wanted to sell, and there they are available, and you can go and reach out to them. That's a great prospect. And Tony Williams, you were going to answer one.
Fast story. So I'm at church about a month ago, and the pastor in his message said, hey, we're going to start looking for a property where we can take care of single moms. And I heard it, okay, and it didn't really ring true, what I should be doing. And then a week ago Sunday, somebody came up to me and said, hey, I know where there's a place that just came up on the market that would work great for that single mom's idea, and they knew me as a realtor. Okay. I said, where is it? And they told me. Well, we checked into it Monday. I had the pastor and his senior associate looking at the property, and we put it under contract, full price, all cash, $950,000. And we're going to close it in about a month. We're doing the appraisal, the inspection this week. Why did it happen? Because somebody heard it when the need came up, and then they knew that I was somebody that can go find out about that property. I had the buyer, which was the church. We had the property. It was referred, to us by somebody that happened to see it on the road one day, and they knew that I was an agent that could solve the problem. And now we're going to have, in about a month. The greatest thing is when I sat down to write the contract, the pastor said, I want to make sure you get paid. I pulled out my buyer agency agreement, I said, well, I need to get this signed off. And they said, we want to make sure you get paid. And I said, great. And I said, I'll give something back to the church, when we close it. And he says, great. That's not what we're looking for. We want to make sure you get paid. And I said, super. So it's a matter of listening to what's going on around you. He said, we're looking for something for single moms. And then being
Tony, that happened while you were sitting in your house on your couch, right? You're just sitting there. No, you actually left your house.
I left my house, went to church,
okay.
and then somebody this past week walked up to me as I was at church and said, I know where there's a property that meets what the pastor's looking for. I said, okay, where is it? And they told me. I went Monday morning, pulled it up in the multi-list system, and went and called the pastor and said, you want to go see it? And he said, yeah. And now we got it all put together.
So prospecting for people that are watching this can be as simple as getting out of your house, see the people, tell the story.
Yeah.
See the people, tell the story. And that is something that new agents don't do. They sit in their house and they wait. They put a pretty post on Facebook and Instagram, and then they wait and they wait.
Yeah.
As Keith Jackson said, there you're just fishing, right? You're waiting. You're setting a trap, so to speak, and waiting for something to happen. And you can starve to death waiting for that versus getting out and hunting.
Keith's a hunter. I'm a fisherman. Okay.
Yeah.
I fish every week. I fish because it's my outlet.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, I'll throw that lure about 30 times over and over. I'm throwing that lure and I'm making sure that I'm using the right lure, okay, for the conditions that we're in. And then I hook it. It's there, you know. But the thing is, if you're not throwing the lure, nothing's going to bite it. You know?
The fishing analogy, Tony, also works. You go to where the fish are. The fish aren't coming to your house and in the living room, right? You ain't sitting there with the fishing pole in the living room waiting for the fish to show up there. You're going to where the fish are.
People go fishing with me and they say, you go to the same spot every time. And I said, because I know that's where they are. That's where they are.
Right.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Tony talked about listening, using his senses. Let's talk about using your senses of your eyes. As you driving around, you see a for sale by FSBO sign out on a lawn. That is a green light, because that's the old school FSBO. That's not the ones that's on Zillow on the internet. That's somebody that's really crying out for help. So now you got to get the heart up to go knock on that door or make that phone call. Hi, I'm Joe Smo, Realtor. Saw your sign. Can you tell me about the house? A lot of times they'll invite you in. Now, if they seem like a psycho, don't go in. But if they seem okay, go in and take that tour, because they're crying out, help me, help me, help me. And that's that's low hanging fruit right there. That's better than expired. And
I'll tell you,
let's say our millennials and Gen Zs want to use social media to prospect, right?
Yes.
What's the difference between marketing on social media and prospecting on social media? Because you can prospect on social media. What's a technique on social media to prospect?
I'm all about my Google business profile. I'm telling you, I get leads all the time because I get reviews on my Google business profile. And I can go 2 weeks without a review and the leads go down. But as soon as I get a review back up there again, all of a sudden the leads pick back up again. So I'm all about, my Google business profile and reviews.
I love it. On social media, can you use DMs and Facebook Messenger to reach out to people to start a conversation and then move that conversation to a cup of coffee? Is that prospecting?
Yes.
It's a way to find out who wants to talk to you, right? You can send the same message to 50 people and 2 bite. Those are the people you take to coffee. And you go out and you see the people and tell the story, right? It's prospecting. But I think where people make the mistake on social media is they just post.
Right.
They're not doing a personal reach out, right? I took a class the other day that talked about if somebody likes your real estate post on Facebook, you should be sending them a DM, private message, thanking them for supporting your local business. And then the call to action. Hey, I'd love to catch up with you, see what's going on in your life. Let me know when I can buy you a cup of coffee. You see the people, you tell the story. They're already a supporter. They gave you a thumbs up or a heart or whatever they give you on the thing. And then you take it to the next step. You get it off online, you start it, but you take it offline to actually do the prospecting. Anybody like that?
Love
Yeah.
it. I put up a 20-second reel this weekend and I got comments and they got mad with me. And that's great when they get mad with you, because now you got a conversation. You're like, how can you start showing this and you only gave us 20 seconds? Where's the whole video? I said, here's the whole video. Go to my YouTube channel. And so then, okay, great. Thank you. And then what's your email address so I can, and so once you do that, you'll get, when you start the conversation, you got to respond and keep it going. The more
I can't imagine anybody getting mad at you, man.
Oh,
somebody get mad at you. You call me. I'll come down there. And I got your back.
The person I'm thinking about is on my left. I can't even on my left, but that's where they show up on the screen.
Tony Justo, you got your hand up. What's up? What's
one of the easiest things, and this goes right along with everything. You got to think of yourself as like a McDonald's employee. Do you want fries with that? Would you like a Coke? Just keep adding on, the more questions and everything. You're building a better rapport. You're trying to get more information out of them. And, you know, McDonald's is great at it. I don't care if you like to eat there or not, but you go there, you watch them, they will offer you 20 million things like, oh, would you like a dessert with that? Would you like to add something else? They're just trying to get you to buy more and more crap. You got to, you know, continually keep asking people and, you know, keep following up with questions, because let's face it, people like to talk and they like to talk about themselves.
I love it, Tony. I think that a lot of new agents forget the fact that the number one place for them to prospect is their sphere of influence. That's where they should be developing their relationship. It seems like to me, whenever I coach with them, they always want to go to complete strangers. They want to go cold, right? Which I think you need to have an influx of cold people to talk to, but it's the warm people. I always ask people, who loves you the most, right? It's mom. Dad's never getting any love on that question, but who loves you the most? It's always mom, right? But who can she introduce you to that you can talk to and go and develop the relationship? Networking, prospecting and networking with the people that already know you is the best source, I think, for agents to get business. And it's easy to do. It's people that already know you. You're buying them a cup of coffee. You're getting out of the house. You're going to fish where the fish are, Tony Williams. And you're going to get them. So I love it. So we got the idea. Massive action that you need to take. You need to get out there, but you need to be prospecting. If you're not prospecting as much as you are watching TV or playing video games, you're screwing up as a new agent. I love to play video games. I love to watch TV, but I do more real estate than I do of that. Go ahead. You were going to say something, Kel.
Yes, I was going to say prospecting goes hand to hand with follow-up, because just prospecting is not enough. If you don't follow up with people, there was a house, I sold a house in DC in February, and I reached out to her through call, text, email. She was an expired 27 times before she finally said, Uncle, and listed her house with me, and I sold it. So I think people will follow up twice, especially new agents, and they'll think they've done something. It's far beyond that. I say I've done my job. When I call people, they say, hey, Kelly. They know who I am, and I've never met these people because I'm that aggressive with them. And that's really what it takes to really stand out when you're talking about doing, especially cold prospecting. Calling someone twice, they're not going to remember who you are later today, let alone 3 months from now. Like Tony said, when they need something, if you haven't called enough, they don't know who you are. So they're not going to think of Tony if he's only called them twice. But if you've called them 27 times, or you've reached out to them through call, text, email, video text, carrier pigeon, however you got to get in front of them, social media, all of
Kelly,
those
why
things.
do video
Google.
texts work so well? I love that you said video texts, because I was going to say this. Why do they work so well?
Because people start to feel like they know you when they see you on video.
Because human beings, right? As children, first thing we learned to recognize was actually mom's voice, because we heard it in the belly. So we know that. Next thing we learn is to recognize faces. When they see and hear your face, they automatically trust you more. And how many of you, if you get a video from Kelly, you're going to click on it because you're going to want to see what she has to say, because there's the little preview on it like that. When it's just words, you can skip past that. But they always watch the video, don't they, Kelly?
Yes.
I love it. That is a great tip. If you're a newer agent and you're watching this, send a video back to them, letting them know you received their request or whatever it is you're doing. And if you're inviting out people in your sphere and you want to connect with them, send them a video. Send them a video. A great way to do it's birthday videos on social media. All right, I love it. What about, we got some minutes left. How about this? This is one of my biggest regrets in my real estate career that I didn't do well enough with in the beginning, but how about using technology, CRMs? What do you guys think about that?
I love it. I love it. And
You
the
love
reason I do that, because you say send a video, my CRM tells me if they watched it. It tells me if they open my email. And then it tells me if it was in, I can see how many open rates I get from stuff I send. So I can say, I need to scrap that. I need to come up with a new hook or something. So the CRM tells me how effective the material I'm sending. It tells me if they're opening it, if they're watching it. And so then I know who I need to jump on right away. So the technology, the CRM is I don't know how I was doing business before without it. So it's invaluable.
What CRM are you using?
I'm using Follow Up Boss.
Good.
So to follow up with what you said there, Keith, I went to a mastermind and Tom Ferry was talking and they were asking him about different stock tips and things like that. He's a big time investor. But one of the questions somebody asked is, if I'm a real estate agent and I have $10,000 to invest right now that will get me the biggest return, what should I invest in? Because he's got all this AI stuff and things going on and stuff that was getting ready to do IPOs and things like that. He was giving us stock tips on. And he said, if I was a real estate agent and I had $10,000, that's all I had, and I wanted to get the biggest return for my buck, I would invest it in my CRM.
You get your CRM.
I would send voicemail drops. I'd send mass texts. I'd send mass video texts to my entire sphere of influence, find out who wanted to talk, and then I would take them out for coffee. And then I would invest from there, the people that were good connections on the coffee, I'd take them to dinner, them and their family. Because that's where I would invest every penny. I would invest it in my sphere of influence inside my CRM. And I thought that was, everybody was like, oh, grunt. He goes, I know you're going to all be pissed about this. We thought he was going to give us some special invest in gold or something. But he said, your CRM.
Yep.
I love that.
Jim, there's a question in the chat from someone. She has a successful cleaning business and now a real estate business. And the question was, should I reach out with a personal phone call or send a marketing piece to announce her, I think it's her, transition into real estate? What approach would you recommend?
I love that. And obviously, I think somebody in there says personal call. And I believe in that, Sandra. Sometimes if you don't have time and you have a big enough client list, you can use a mass texting where you can do the Kelly Jackson and mass text a video to people talking to them, especially if these are people that know you. You can send them a video, tell them how grateful you are with everything you've done. You're moving on to a new career in your life. Say it the way you want, but say it on video to them to get them to open it. I think that's a good one. Does anybody here use voicemail drops? You guys know what voicemail drops are? Everybody knows what that is. If you're new and you don't know what that is, look up voicemail drops. It's where you can create one perfect voicemail and drop it in every person's you know's without ringing their phone right into their voicemail for holidays, for any announcements you have and things like that. You can send 1,000 of them for, I think, $200 maybe or something like that, right into their voicemail. It's great. And it's done like that, which is great. So that's what I would do, Sandra. And then, like Kelly said, do all the things. If you have their addresses, send them a mailer. So now they've got your phone number with a QR code with your pretty face on there with your real estate logo. I would do all of it. And of course, get them on an email campaign with a drip campaign that runs. That's how I would do it. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Jim, the voicemail drop, Slide Broadcast is an app, Slide Broadcast, where you can put one audio message out there and send it to a bunch of people. It'll call that voicemail in the middle of the night if you want to. It won't ring their phone. It'll be on their voicemail when they check their phone next time around.
Perfect. Nothing like hearing your voice. The only thing better than that on steroids is seeing your face and hearing your voice, like Kelly Jackson said. Video text. It's huge. Kim Campbell.
And go ahead, Kim.
Go ahead, Kelly. Go.
No, I was just going to say, as a new agent, if you have a sphere of influence and you have their address, then sending them a CMA on their property every year is a great way to show that to build some authority with your sphere of influence. It transitions you from whatever role you meant to them before to saying, hey, I'm the person that's going to tell you about protecting your money that's in your investment. Here's what your house is worth. And they don't have to ask you for that. They don't have to be in the process of selling. You can send that unsolicited CMA out to them, and it gives you practice with doing CMAs. So it gives you're getting those at bats before you do it with the people, the strangers, like Jim said.
That's great. I love it. We're getting close to wrapping up. We got 5 minutes. What about this one? Running out of money. Like running out of cash, right? When you first get started, you think you're going to get in, you're going to sell a house that first month and get paid. And the reality is you might go 4, 5, 6 months, and then you still have another 45 days before you get paid, even after you put it in contract. Look, is there any shame if somebody is a newer agent and they're getting going in having a side hustle where there's cash coming in? What's your thoughts on
Nope.
that? What's the grizzled old vets? Well, the ladies here aren't old. The dudes here, we're all old. We got the gray on us. The ladies aren't. But the grizzled vets, what's the thoughts on that?
Do whatever it takes.
Yeah, there it is.
Uber, I mean, Uber Eats, I mean, I'm not good at because I can't drive that well, but
Uber,
I mean,
Uber
anything.
Eats is a great way. You don't have to put somebody in your car, and you can make money when you want to work. You turn it on and turn it off. You have a showing, you turn it off.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, so many ways to earn extra income while you building your real estate business, and there's no shame in doing whatever it is, that is available to do. Pressure washing. I mean, like our Cass Campbell is starting a soap squash business on pressure washing. So join a kid. I don't care. I mean, like a kid or not, there's a business. Join them on a side, help them out, and just get some money so you can focus on your main business, which is real estate, and that's what you do. Go, Tony.
yeah, different companies are on this call, but your company may give you part of profit, share of the company. Your company may give you part of the revenue share of the company. We take our revenue share, we dump that money into a business account, and we do all our marketing from our revenue share. So our revenue takes care of our marketing expense. So I spend an extra $20,000 a year easy on marketing, whether it be, Google business page. I think I spent $8,000 hiring a company to set it up the way it ought to be. And we've already made $85,000 from that $8,000 investment.
It's a good return
from the revenue share. And I didn't have to go and deliver food or do high pressure spraying or anything like that.
And new agents, what Tony Williams just said there was gold. When you get your commission check, don't spend it all. Right. Don't spend it all and go out and you got a $20,000 commission check and go buy a motorcycle with it, even though, you may want it. But make sure you put a percentage, decide what it is, a percentage away for marketing, reinvest back in your business, put a big chunk away for taxes. So many agents get destroyed because they don't pay their taxes. Put a portion of the money away for investment, for retirement, and then live off the rest. People have different percentages, but I would say 10, 10, 20. 10% back to marketing. So if it's a $20,000 commission check, you better be taking $2,000 of that, putting it back to marketing. 20% of it should go away to taxes. $20,000 commission check, you better put $4,000 away for taxes and don't touch it because you're going to have to pay it, right? And then the other 10% put away, invest in a, well, if you follow Tony Robbins, he's got a great book talking about money. That's a good one. Money Master the Game. And to wrap us up here, Tony Giusto, you wanted to add something before we finish up?
I was just going to say, also, when you're doing that and reinvesting back in your business, if you're looking for side hustles, do something that is kind of branching off of that, and again, it could be something crazy like, hey, work as a bartender at night, because then that's not interfering with your day job, your time during the day to work real estate. And as you're at the bar, you can be talking to people, getting leads, doing things. If you're doing the pressure washing, talk to the people, let them know, hey, I'm doing this. And after you have a job, maybe walk around a neighborhood and hang flyers or something like that to continue to build and grow your business, but always keep your business first and move along that way.
I love it. And as the wonderful Tony Williams said, you ain't fishing from your living room. You got to go to where the fish are. Get out of the house.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing that newer agents can do to bridge the gap in between those closings is to work rentals. I will call all the agents in the area and say, hey, I'll take your rental leads. Every agent that has agents who have rental listings, we don't want to show them. And so I have a rental in DC. I'm not going down there. I give them to agents, new agents. And I mean, it's a $3,000 rental. They can actually make some money to bridge the gap. And if you're putting renters in properties today, they're buyers tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a great way, instead of going for all these other things outside of real estate that's pulling you further and further out of the industry, actually work some rental leads. They're usually in a hurry. It happens quickly, and it'll give you some money to keep going.
I love it.
That's a great point.
Some flash cash.
Let everybody know rates are falling.
Yeah.
Rates are coming down.
Yep.
You know, let the whole world know the good news.
That's right.
Post on social media. Everybody that likes your post, you go and send them a DM thanking them for supporting your small business, and you would love to catch up with them sometime in the future and buy them a cup of coffee and see what's going on in their life. If they respond back to that, get out of the house and go buy them a cup of coffee and invest in that. And that's a great way to prospect from your living room when you did your marketing piece, and then prospect from there. And I think if you balance your life out where you're not spending more time on Netflix and video games than you are on prospecting and educating yourself, you'll do just fine. So we're going to do next Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Do we know our topic yet?
Not yet. Still finalizing that.
We'll post
love
it.
open
Just all the
forum
stuff.
so much.
We'll
This is great. Open forum is awesome.
Yeah. If you want to download the chat, there are 3 dots on the chat. If you're on your desktop, there's a more that pops up when you hover over it. You click that, and you can click save chat, and it'll save all the different things that we had in there. So great job. Good luck to everybody out there. Hey, reach out to somebody that you saw on here. If you need a mentor or somebody to help hold you accountable, things like that, reach out to somebody that you saw on here, and they'll help get you set up and get you on the way to doing dollar-producing activities, DPAs, and you'll be great, and you'll have a great career. And we thank everybody for coming on. See everybody next Monday. Thanks for everybody's input today. That was awesome. You guys
Great call.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.